Check me out. Check me out. Shuffle. Shuffle. Play. Yo. I already played this song at the start of my videos, bro. I love it though. It's a banger. It's actually pretty good for the video. Because it's the hedgehog's dilemma. If you've seen Evangelion, you'll know what's up. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm done with my fucking break. Fuck that shit. And we're back. We're so back, bro. It's never so over. I want to talk about incels today. I know it's like a mostly I want to talk about this report I just read. The threat landscape, incel and misogynist violent extremism. From the U.S. Prevention Practitioners Network. So, the McCain Institute, the Institute for Strategic Dialogue, and the U.S. Practitioners Network created a thing talking about targeted violence and terrorism prevention. And it's talking about incels. So I remember reading an article maybe 2 or 3 years ago about incels, how they're like terrorists, they're violent, right? It's like, guys, obviously, like, I'm gonna get into this, but like, of course, the person who goes and does terrorism, which I explained all this in the psych terrorism thing, of course there's gonna be an overlap of terrorists, because terrorists are people in a state of disillusionment with society. Of course they're not gonna be having women. I mean, they live in a state of disillusionment within society. Like, you think they're literally loners. That's like the key thing that makes a terrorist. That's like the number one variable, is being a loner. I was sitting sideways the whole time. The key thing is being a loner. Of course they're incels, bro. Why is this like a whole, I don't know. They're making it a whole thing. And it's also like, I think that there's a greater agenda going down here. I'll make a video about feminism at some point, talking about, like, guys, I'm not anti-feminist. Well, I'm not anti-feminist of what feminism was. I'm anti-feminist of what feminism is today. I'm sex negative. I'm sure you could probably assume this. I don't think we should just be fucking like that, guys. But anyways, I'll talk about that later. Let me also state, I'm not an incel, right? Like, that, I just had to start it with that. Yeah. Alright, so I've just been highlighting some portions of this, just random stuff. So, it defines incels as short for involuntary celibates. Incel communities believe that they are entitled to sex because they haven't had sex recently or at all. They feel a bitterness and hatred towards women. Most incels are men, in parentheses, and their stations in life. It talks about men's rights activists is an anti-feminist movement that believes male privilege is a myth, and on the contrary, societal and political structures privilege women, which that's kind of true. So, why is this dangerous? The manosphere is dangerous because it is founded in anti-woman hate. Sorry. In the U.S., the National Strategy for Counterterrorism recognizes incel violent extremism as a potential single-issue motivator for terrorism. And guys, I kind of brought this point up in my Psychology of Terrorism video as well. What the fuck? Sorry. The psychology... No, which video? Oh, I was talking about evolutionary psychology and cognitive dissonance. Guys, if you're a man and you're not having sex, you inherently have cognitive dissonance. Like, it's not as strong for women. That urge isn't as much there. But, like, men need to have sex more often than women, right? Like, women feel, I don't know if I could really put this out as like a statistic or something, but like when a girl is ovulating, which is once a month for a few days to like a week and a half, I don't know if she feels at the same level of like horniness, but like I think it's relatively agreed upon that men are just inherently more horny. So therefore, if they don't get any girls, they're gonna feel worse than a woman if she didn't get men. In a sexual sense, in a validation sense, I think women probably feel worse. But because men have this strong urge, this pull, because that's what testosterone is, right? Like when a woman's higher in testosterone too, she's also more aroused, more often, more excitable, right? But anyways, so like when you have a cognitive dissonance, you're gonna have a bad feeling. That's what cognitive dissonance is. It's a negative feeling. And so when this goes on your whole life, it really builds up and it gets bad. And it's like, yeah, these people are going to feel bad, of course. But I think to portray incels as violent people inherently, I think is quite incorrect. I think that you could say that they're negative people, right? It's kind of like if you were to draw, but they'd never do this, guys, because then this would be a problem to the liberals. If you were to draw the comparison between depressed people and mass shooters, murderers, rapists, right? There is probably a huge correlation there, right? Or like people with ASPD, antisocial personality disorder, sociopathy. There's definitely a huge correlation there. But like liberals won't do that because they don't want to associate mental health issues with violence and negative stereotypes. We have to break the stigma, guys. I'm schizophrenic and that's okay. The destigmatization of schizophrenia is absurd, bro. That shit's crazy. It's like mental health matters until it's anything but depression, anxiety, ADHD, OCD. When it's anything else, people are like, you kind of make me uncomfortable. And me just sitting there doing word salad. So the other day, I was walking my dog, and the fire was coming, and I'm home, and like there's just rocks. You're like, yeah, that's what schizophrenia is, guys. Anyways, so the dehumanization of women. There's a few things that I highlighted here. AWALT, short for all women are like that, used to generalize and stereotype women. Guys, does not every fucking person do this ever? Is this not something that every single person does? Does not everyone generalize and stereotype people? I want to make a video about racism and go around and be like, are you racist to people? Except I did like 2 clips of that, and everyone said no. And I was like, dude, not a single person is going to say yes. But that kind of like, that's just not a very interesting thing to watch. Just people saying no, you know? Anyways, everyone generalizes and stereotypes people, bro. This is fucking stupid. Generalizing and stereotyping women. Are there not women who say all men are doing something? Is that not just a common, are there not people that say, like, oh, yeah, black people do that, white people do that, Asians do that, Mexican, right? Like, that's just a general thing that everyone does. You're talking about it being the dehumanization of women. It's crazy. And then it's talking about hypergamy. Incels believe that women are hypergamous and therefore will always seek relationships with men of higher status than themselves or the men that they are currently with. Guys, this is not an incel thing. Like, literally, I mean, that's just true, right? I'm sorry. But are you seriously telling me a girl is going to date a guy at the same height, same social class, same wealth, same looks, objectively, same intelligence? You're seriously telling me a girl's going to do that? It's just not true. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. Like, it's just not. Girls are not going to be with a guy that's at the same level of them. Like, why would they choose that? Because it's like, let's say you're an 18-year-old girl. Okay. Let me just make a point. Why do women date older guys? Why does that happen? Because they have more shit, bro. Fucking obviously. Like, there's a reason that preference exists. It's kind of disgusting when I think about it. But that's just because I'm a man. Like, to girls, it's just normal. Or I'm like, oh, like, you're fucking into a 60-year-old? What the fuck? You know? But, that's just a real thing. Like, that's not like a weird stereotype to believe in. Right? Like, that's not crazy. And then it talks about the black pill here. I just thought this was funny. It says it is used by incels to refer to hopelessness. Sorry, I'm still like a little sick. And it says incel forums are therefore often rife with imagery and mentions of suicide, of Eldar, lie down and rot, or going ER, which refers to Elliot Rogers of the Isla Vista killings, which I was just researching. Dude, that shit's fucked, man. That's crazy stuff. But, dude, like, it's crazy because autistic people be having the most interesting perceptions of the world ever, man. Like, something about, when you hear an autistic person talk about, like, societal trends and shit, sometimes it's hella based. Like, sometimes I'll be talking with an autistic guy and he'll have hella based opinions. And it's just like, they don't understand what's normal socially. So they just be coming up with conceptions of things. Anyways, the Isla Vista killings is this guy, Elliot Roger. And he pretty much had, like, a manifesto that he wrote out where he said that women should be in concentration camps and a few of them should be remaining. And he said that in the concentration camps, they should just starve to death and he can watch from a post. Just a really messed up guy. But he was, like, obsessed with the fact that women will never like him because he's Asian and autistic. And, like, he just talked, like, a lot about how he keeps getting rejected. Then he sees these girls with, like, really bad men. He called himself, he said, you're all with these, whatever, abominable men, and I am a supreme gentleman. That's what he said about himself. That's crazy. But, like, autists don't be understanding structures like that societally. Yeah, he killed 7 people and then himself. 6 people and then himself. And he injured an additional 7. And get this, 2020 saw a rise to incel-related violence, guys. Because what happened in 2020? People don't go out. People don't meet people. So that fucking cognitive dissonance starts to get to them, you know? Like, okay. And then it's talking about these different groups, men's rights activists, pickup artists. I don't know why pickup artists are in this at all, bro. That's just ridiculous. And it's talking about they all draw on the same underlying belief of male victimhood, specifically that women and feminism are at fault for the lowly status in which modern men find themselves. Guys, when you really look at what's changed, it is because feminism, guys. I'm gonna be honest. The dating game and stuff. Like, feminism is the biggest factor in changing it, you know? That's not a crazy comparison to draw. Like, and I'm not saying that this stuff is fine. I'm not saying that it's fine to go be, like, a woman hater or anything. But it's like, a lot of this stuff is actually correct. And it's interesting when I read this stuff where it's, like, demonizing correct information. They did this with, alright, I don't know if I should say that, actually. No, they did this with the Nazis as well. There were certain parts. I'm not saying any of it was good, guys. Obviously. Well, actually, the U.S. government thought some of it was good, bro. Fucking, we Operation Paperclip them hoes in here. We're like, yeah, so these are, I don't know, 140 of your highest ranking generals and scientists and intel people. Bring them in the U.S. government. And now we're screwed. Anyways. But even though that they did that, they, like, demonized some of the stuff. Like, for example, eugenics in America was very popular prior to the 40s, right? Like, America was the leader of eugenics. We wrote all the books that the Nazis read, and they were sterilizing disabled people and stuff. And then the Nazis were like, guys, eugenics, but for the Jews. And then we're like, no, we're not involved in that. Anyways, I just think that people demonize information that's like, so when information is associated with one group of people, right, and that group of people goes and does terrorism or some shit, any information slightly related, demonized now all of a sudden, you know? And like, I'm not saying that eugenics was a good thing. I'm just saying that like they took a line of thought that they thought was valid, and then someone did something bad with it, and then they demonized it, you know? This stuff happens like a lot. It's talking about men's rights activists. Focusing less on sex and criticizing gender equality, women's rights, and women's status in society more broadly. Like, I don't know, guys. It's just like, it's kind of true that, like, this is going to sound bad, I know. But when you're a woman, your life is on easy mode. Like, I'm sorry to say that, but it's kind of facts. I've always gotten in trouble in school, bro. Like, always. And, like, dude, did I have a dream about this? Maybe I'm tripping. I feel like I had a dream where I did a bunch of fuck shit and I was a girl and I didn't get in trouble. Maybe I'm just tweaking and I just imagined it. But, women never get in trouble like that, bro. No, wait, is that what it was? Maybe it was a racial thing. I think I was just picturing a racial thing where, like, oh no, this is what it was, bro. I don't know how I got it so twisted. That's so weird. You know how in your psych, how they talk about in your memory, the more that you revisit a memory, the more it gets altered? I don't know, it's really weird. Nah, it was that in high school, my Indian friends would do the same shit as me and they'd never get in trouble, bro. Like, never. And then, like, my black friend would always get in trouble. Like, people would always be suspicious of him and shit. Anyways. But, yeah, I mean, criticizing gender equality is fair. I think to take some lines of thought and say, this is bad, this is a bad idea, I think that's the most destructive thing we could possibly do. Why can't we just fucking look at things and decide? No, you can't believe that? That's hateful. What do you mean? Like, you just fucking think. Is this like a crazy idea? I can't have some thoughts. Some thoughts are bad. It's a bad thought. You should not draw parallel. You should not use pattern recognition. Like, shut up. Anyways. In an audio recording on this site, the owner said, "Pussy is the only empowerment women will ever know," which says, effectively belittling women down to sexual objects. But, guys, is there not an argument that feminists make about sex positivity and actually fucking using your pussy for empower? Is that not the same shit? Is that when you talk about sex positivity being empowering, when you talk about being an escort being empowering, when you talk about being on OnlyFans being empowering, that's the same fucking thing, bro. Guys, I have a fucking pussy, so, like, I'm cool now. I get this honor. Nah, bro. To say that is, like, it's kind of bad, but, like, guys, let's be real for a minute. How many women are recognized because they have skill? Societally speaking, celebrity-wise. And how many are recognized because they're fucking good-looking? Right? Like, I'm not saying that it's okay to do that. I'm not saying that that's all that they should be doing. But it's not a crazy thing to say. I don't think it's the only real empowerment that they'll know. Right? But it's a huge part of it. Like, a huge fucking part. You know? Like, seriously, though. How many women are famous for looks versus skill and thought and intellect? Like, I'm not saying that it should be that way. Yeah, there's plenty of great contributions that women can and have made to society, of course. But it's like, I don't know, to say that it's the only real empowerment, that's a little far off, but like still. I don't know why everything's talking about how it's so bad to talk about women being hypergamous. Like, that's just true. Oh, this is funny. The pickup artist movement. This movement compares to incel. Damn, bro, I really was. Whew. This movement compares to incel communities in that they feel men are owed sex and that women therefore need to be sexually available at all times. Bro, that's such cap. That is such cap. You think that pickup artists think that women should always be sexually available? That's not a thing, bro. Like, pickup artists are cringe as fuck. But that's so unreasonable to say that. Women have to always be open to sex. That's kind of like a rapey thing. Don't get me wrong, some of the pickup artist stuff is rapey as fuck, bro. Like, when you're like those videos, I always see this on my Snapchat For You page. It's like, sorry guys, I be saying like a lot. I don't know why. It makes me sound like minus 30 IQ points. Anyways, those videos where it's a guy and he's standing outside of like a popular bar area and he's just talking to girls and he goes like, man, I'm like so aware of me saying like now. It's actually torturous. He goes, what would you rate me out of 10? Or he's like, can I get a kiss? And stuff like that. Dude, that's weird as fuck. Like, you're out here sober talking to the most drunk girls, hitting on them and shit. Can I get your number? Like, that's unbelievably weird, man. Like, it's crazy to me that people watch that stuff, dude. That's horrible. Anyways, MGTOW. I don't know what that means. I'm talking about the phases of how this works. So, stage 0, situational awareness. The red pill has been taken. Gender equality is understood as a feminist lie. That's me. Stage 1, rejection of long-term relationships. The individual abstains from long-term intimate relations with women. That's not me. Stage 2, rejection of short-term relationships. The individual abstains from all sexual relations with women, including one-time hookups. Stage 3, economic disengagement. The individual harbors anti-government sentiment, where the government is deemed a tyrannical force seeking to drain its citizens financially. The individual commits to earning no more than is necessary to financially sustain him. Guys, what is the Federal Reserve? Do we not live where there's a semi-tyrannical government seeking to drain its citizens financially? Is that a crazy... Okay, the crazy part is that you stop earning extra money because of it. Sheesh. Like, okay, maybe you could think a little and find some way to save some money on your taxes and shit. There's no point in just not earning money beyond what you need to pay your rent because the government's gonna take it. That's kind of ridiculous. But like, to say that this is an incel idea that the government is trying to drain you financially is ridiculous, bro. Because that's literally how everything is. Like, of course. Stage 4, societal disengagement. This is where people become terrorists, bro. The final stage where the individual commits to separatism by refusing to interact with society. And it's like, guys, incels are just like kind of loser type guys. I'm sorry, but like, you can't figure out the basic system of socializing with women, you know. But like, if you're an incel because religion, that's a voluntary celibate though. So yeah, incels are just kind of losers, I guess. I'm going back to my statement, doubling down here. You know? And I think to frame losers with being terror threats is like, I think it's kind of a far draw. Like, of course, the not normal kids are the one killing a bunch of people. Is that like a crazy idea? But I think to frame incels as like a dangerous group is kind of ridiculous. You know, I think that's like pushing it a little far. I think that these are just losers, and my point for why they're losers is, you get this. Talking about incel forums are often riddled with racist stereotyping. Everyone's racist. The incels, just when you're a loser, you're more likely to say racist shit because you don't even talk to anyone, so your mind is even more polarized. For example, including the fetishization and objectification of Asian women. Guys, come on. Like, of course the losers are into Asian girls, bro. They watch anime. Like, fuck, man. Is it wrong to say that most basement dweller guys are into anime? Is it wrong to say that if you're on the internet for a long enough time, you'll probably get into anime at some point, right? I used to watch anime. Guys, should I get on gear? Should I start doing like trend? Anyways, sorry. I actually never mind. You know, it's like talking about the fetishization of Asian women. Why didn't they make that correlation? And it also talks about the belief that features considered to be Aryan are superior to all others. And then it also talks about anti-toxic masculinity, white supremacy, anti-LGBTQ, anti-feminist, and it blames both the LGBTQ and the feminists for the perceived decline of the white race. Guys, this is not... Okay, I don't know what I just did. I don't even know. Somehow I ended the video. I'm gonna have to find a software to add 2 of these videos to now. I've never done this before, bro. I always do one take. This is messed up. I don't even know how I did that. Anyways, the perceived decline of the white race, bro, that's not a... They're saying it's like a perceived thing. That's real, bro. White people have fallen off. Hella. Like, I'm sorry, but it's just true. When you compare historically to what they did do, we're far, bro. We're losing out here, bro. Like, white people have the most problems right now. Not the most problems, but like, I'm saying that they have the most problems that they've ever had, historically speaking, right? Like, we just see it's just messed up. Like, I don't know. I just feel like we have the most issues that we've ever had, and I mean that in like mental health as well as just achievement overall, falling into pitfalls, losing religion, committing to degeneracy, right? Like, when we were a religious group, the white people, we were doing great. Now we've not been doing well. And of course, there's a correlation between white supremacists, Nazis, anti-LGBTQ people, and incels. Of course, bro. Like, these people, if you're anti-Jewish, you're pro-eugenics, you're pro-white people being best, yeah, like, being an incel is way farther, way more chill. I guess you could... That's kind of a stupid way to say that, but like, being an incel is far less radical than being a Nazi. Like, of course, the Nazis are also incels. Why is that like a crazy thing, you know? It's like saying, like, terrorists have mental health issues. Yeah, like, of course. And it also talks about jihad maxing, or taking the jihad pill. Encourages Muslim incels to join violent jihadist groups in order to access sexual relationships. As the promise of marriage often appears in ISIS propaganda. It's like, guys, I highlighted that to prove a point. How much this matters to people. How far a man will go for sexual relief, you know? I mean, it's crazy. You see OnlyFans, bro? These guys are paying like $1,000 for some girl to like say their name with their fucking feet out or some shit, you know? It's like, guys, this is a crazy take. It's fucking, you take her out to dinner, take her out to the bar, blow a bag, absolute bag of cocaine. Nah, I'm joking, of money, right? And then you get to have sex with her. Like, guys will go so far for sex, bro. And I want to bring that up to prove the point of how much of a cognitive dissonance this brings to a man, right? Like, this creates great issues, great fucking problems. And then it talks about sex positivity enrages incels and other misogynistic communities. Sex positivity enrages me, bruh. Like, I think it's a horrible thing that we have. Because what comes with sex positivity is the dissociation between having sex and actually making children, right? In addition to this, it's kind of disgusting. Just be like, yeah, go fuck whoever. It doesn't matter, guys. Right? Oh, abortion is a Moloch sacrifice for sure, guys. It has nothing to do with that. Nothing, right? Infanticide. Totally. Anyways, yeah, like, of course, sex positivity, the idea, go have sex as much as you want, is gonna enrage a bunch of guys. Because, like, the reality, I've been saying this, bro. 90% of girls that are fucking are getting fucked by 10% of guys. That's just true. Not to mention, it's projected that 50% of people, over 50% of men under 20 are virgins, bro. Like, that's insane. Nah, maybe it's not under 20. I think it's under 30 or 25 or something. It's like, it's not including, like, 13-year-olds or anyone below that age. Something around, like, 16 to 25-year-olds or something. Anyways, you know, of course that's going to enrage people that aren't getting any, bro, when you're like, yeah, go have sex freely. And there's a bunch of dudes who are like, bruh. And it's also like, I think it comes down to a fundamental lack of understanding of females. That's another big part of this stuff. Because, like, when I talk about basement dwellers and shit, when you don't, because here's the thing, guys, we kind of stopped having normal female and male understanding. Just because people don't talk to each other as much. People don't live as much in the moment. People don't get as bored and just go talk to people. So because of this, there's a great lack of understanding of the opposite gender's psyche. And I'd say it's a much greater dissonance between men to women than it is from women to men. I don't know if that's a really correct claim. I don't know if I could find evidence to support that. But generally speaking, I think that can be said. Right? And I don't know, guys. It's very bad. I mean, we see all these issues correlating to it. All this being said, guys, I don't think that incels are a violent group inherently. I don't think that we should be scared of them. I don't think that we should be like, no, they're dangerous, you know? Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's a fair parallel to draw. I really don't. Like, of course, guys, terrorists are incels. Of course. Why is that a crazy idea? That's what I don't get. And I do think that there's a further agenda to pushing this idea. You know, I think that there's an agenda to pushing a gap between men and women. I think there's an agenda to telling women, when you go outside, you're going to get raped. I think there's an agenda to telling women that men are evil and you can't trust them. There's something behind that. I fully believe it. Yeah, but anyways, guys, that's it. This is kind of a lengthier video. I'll put the link below of this document. It's just kind of weird stuff to me, you know? It's just kind of absurd. But I don't know, guys. It's also like, this is the other thing. I think that you can't really gauge basement dwellers too well in your life after you're out of high school, because you're no longer around the general population. Like, these people don't go outside. They literally go on their once a month Walmart runs. You know, I saw a video of iDubbbz. I don't know why I was watching this last night. This is an interview with this gay guy from Smosh, I think. I don't know his name. But he goes, I think he's gay. I don't know, bro. But anyways, he goes, yeah, man, like, I just didn't like the people that I was attracting. Like, these guys would leave their basement once a month for their Walmart restock run, and I'd see them, and they'd be horrible to be around. He's like, and I think that I would portray this persona online where I'm, like, acting all weird and stuff, and I was just for the camera, but then these people actually related to it. I'm like, damn. Anyways, it's hard to gauge these people in your day-to-day, especially for, like, a woman to understand. Like, as a man, I can somewhat gauge it because I interact with people that are somewhat on this spectrum, because, like, it's just more normal for a guy to go talk to a guy. But when you're, like, a weird motherfucker, girls aren't really going to talk to you, so they don't really get to understand. But yeah, guys, I just like to say I don't think that a lot of these people are like this. I think that people push this idea far, very far. That's it, guys. Thank you for listening. Quite a long video. Feel free to comment any thoughts below. Let me know anything I should have done different. I want to find a software where I can show my screen and put a camera on at the same time. I don't know how to do that, so if anyone knows, comment. That's it.